today we're going to be doing the annual mix video. So this is going to be for everyday mixing for up and coming producers, or seasoned producers if you're not familiar with mixing. Let's hop into it. All right, so now we're just going to level, and we're just going to do a basic level. I'm gonna chop this up so as easy as possible. So here, this is the beat, just a simple beat. And then the second part, we would drop this. Okay, simple beat. Okay, so the first step, this is very simple. Okay, so we have everything at the same level, and no, it does not matter what you have here. Okay, this all will be adjusted here. Matter of fact, move that. We will highlight, and you can do this in any DAW. Just highlight everything and pull it halfway through the mixer, just like that. You're done. Okay, that's step one. Okay, so now we're gonna level individually by category. So we have melodies, low end, we have our pillars. A pillar is just the main drums, the drums that give your beat bounce. So claps, your snares, the hi-hat. Simple as that. And your percs, open hats, I don't know, rim, any like small sound that is just extra. So we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna just color these different so we can see these. Okay, so first thing you need to do, we'll mute these. I'm not panning, I'm not doing none of that. Okay, I think the least you can do and make it sound good, the better. Okay, you don't need plugins and all this stuff. You can use what's here for the actual instruments. If I can get this to, okay, so for this sound, I'll just play it. Now I'm gonna turn this up. It's kind of a low sound, so I'm gonna take some of the low end so it doesn't clash with my 808. Simple. Now it is important to remember, you do not want to remove the sound completely. You want to remove as much as you can while keeping the sound sounding like the original without EQ. Right now, this is not the sound, right? So you want to pull it back as far until it sounds, and I think that's good right there. Actually, about right there. So we're gonna do that with everything else, and then we're gonna level. Now this is, if you look, I have everything in order. I have my instruments, low end, pillars, and then my percs. And there's a reason I do it in that order every time, is because that's how personally, I feel like if you mix in that order, you'll get a better mix overall, even if you do it quick, because everything is adjusting to the one before, right? Rather than adjusting your melody to your percs. That doesn't make sense. So here, I'm gonna just do a quick one. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is clearly loud, so I'm gonna just take it halfway. And that's decent. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this there, and now we're gonna move on to our low end. All right, so now we have the low end. Now this is the part everybody wants to get perfect. Now a lot of it is sound selection, but I can't go through every single sound in the entire world and show you every single combo, right? So what I like to do is I mix my 808 to my melody. Now, how do you know if it's mixed right? Well, there's really no real answer, but what I like to do is I turn it down, and if you can hear the thump of the 808, it's loud enough. So this is just the bass right here, and we'll do the kick. So okay, I don't know if y'all can hear that. Right, so if I turn it down really low, if I can hear that thump, then it's loud enough. Okay, now if you want it to blast, you can pull it up, right? Right, so I can't really hear it here, so I'm gonna turn it up just slightly, so I can hear the thump. All right, now don't worry, it's not sounding super loud right now. We will do that later. So now this is mixed to our melody, right? So now the kick. Now, yes, I have formulas and all this crap on how to mix this, but really what I look for is I look for the kick to punch through the 808. So that's not enough for me, right? So I'll turn it up until it's like really clear, like right there. That's the punch I'm looking for. Okay, now you know it's going to take you some time. If you're new to this, it's going to take you time to really like be able to recognize that. But usually if you go about 6 dB above the 808, okay, about 6 dB, it'll give you that thump. Okay, now I don't really like the way my kick and 808 sound in mono, so I usually leave them alone, but there are cases where you will put them in mono, it will sound better, so you just have to make that decision yourself. All right, so now we're gonna do our pillars. Now this is pretty easy from here on out. You can kind of like just listen, but a rule of thumb is you don't want it lower than your melody and you don't want it higher than your kick. Okay, so if you want to be technical and you want to like mute everything and literally just do this. All right, so this is at, what is that, 15 dB, right? You can look at the kick, so you can put it somewhere at like 9 dB, right? Now I don't really, you can do that if you want to, but you know, I feel like that's doing too much. All right, I feel like that's a little loud. So I'm gonna turn that, we could probably do like somewhere in between here. Okay, now the reason you don't want it super loud is because you will be doing some EQing, right? And then we have to master it or just bring the levels up, so you don't want it too loud. So as far as the EQing, basically I take this middle line and then I pull it over to where this other line is and I boost it. So I'm gonna move this over a bit like that, and then I just boost this up a bit, and I literally do that for every single one. All right, and that's pretty much what I do for all these. So now the rest of these can't be louder than this sound. So if this is your clap, your snare, right? So the hi-hats, and we can do the same thing, just boost it slightly. Still gotta bring the levels up. We can just do this with the hi-hat. All right, and I still think this is a little loud, so I'm gonna bring it down just slightly. Okay, so those are the pillars, and lastly we will do the percs. Okay, so now we're gonna do our, I guess, percs, like background sounds. Now this is very simple, and if you notice in every single video I always map everything out like this: melody, low end, and this is why, because when you mix it and you put it in here, you mix in order. So the percs are going to adjust to the pillars now. So now it's super easy. All you got to do is just bring them down. You don't even have to really mix it, but we're still going to, but and usually with these, I take out some low ends and boost the highs a bit just so they stick out. You don't necessarily have to do this. Just my preference. Okay, so now our beat is completely leveled. All right, and there are levels to this. Like if you want to spend an hour on this, you can, but this is supposed to be like everyday mixing. Like right after you finish making a beat or whatever, you just quickly just level it, boom, 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 you're done. So now what we're gonna do, okay, is bring the levels up and finish it off. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're quote unquote mastering. So we're just gonna bring the levels up. So what I like to do is use a stereo shaper, and this is what I like to do if you're using FL and you have this plugin. So if you're using a different DAW, just get a plugin that boosts the gain. Simple as that. And we have this, and I'll play it super loud. Okay. Then I use an EQ. This is the one I use, and I just make it a little bit crispy, take out some frequencies I don't like. So usually it'll look like this. Probably boost the 808 area a bit. Turn this down. It looks something like this. Okay, something like that. You could top it off. You can see it's super crispy now just with this little boost and stuff. And then soft clipper to control it, so you can get that -0, what is it, -0.3 dB, something like that. You put it at 79%, and the threshold, you can, it depends what you like on this, like how saturated you want it to sound. So I'm gonna just do that real quick. that's good. Okay, so that is just kind of bringing the levels up. So now we need to re-level it so it's not so distorted. All right, so now we're just gonna re-level it. So one way I like to do it is to put it into a bus. Okay, there are plenty benefits to this. You can re-EQ it if you want to, add effects over the entire melody. Or if you just want to impress your producer friends that don't know how to do this and you want to look like a genius, you can do this. So you highlight all your melodies, then Control Shift and then click on the empty slot or your bus, right? Right click on that same track, go to track routing and go to route selected to this track only. And now I'll just play these. You have full control over the entire melody or tracks you selected. Okay, now you could do this manually, but the problem is the ratio will not stay the same all the time depending on the type of look that you have, right? So it's not really smart to do that unless you're for sure you want to turn something down. So I'm gonna just re-level. I have everything set up already. I'm gonna just re-level to my liking, and you could do the same if you want. So right, and I'm gonna turn this up a bit. Right, and you can mess with the low end, all type of stuff. All right, so that's just kind of the gist of it. That's gonna be it for this, and this is gonna be the last mixing video of the year. I only do 2. So the next one I'll do will be more advanced with plugins, but I like to do kind of a basic one and an advanced one. So hopefully this one will help you out, just something a little different, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.